that much more objection.
Or for Congress.
For Congress.
It could be a children's book about Congress, no one in the middle.
No one in the middle. It's true, we really do have the size of the aisle.
You look better. I know, Jeff was ready to send him to the doctor. And then I looked up online, so it was like bronchitis, and they said, it'll just go away by itself. There is, I'm really bad with around there in the middle of the summer. Attention 4 days. And it's all jury and crabs and stuff. It's all bad for it. That's why it's like, you had to bring your sons. They got a good job. Great. I know. Are you traveling or are you just at work? Oh, no.
Someone gets it.
Yes.
I do the short straw.
It's really,
That's right.
they get people.
Okay.
A couple of years, we actually bought our kitchen table.
This row is completely
Company in Ohio.
This row is completely forgotten. I'm not straight in a row. No, I'm just kidding. It just seemed to really be bothering me.
Well, it was too close, there's no way to get out of that.
Yeah, no, I noticed it, yeah.
They're a little tight.
There's nowhere to walk, no.
You can move that row of chairs. It looks like you probably remember. Let's go over there so I can go maybe mad dash.
That's a bad dash.
It's in the middle. It's in the middle.
Nice to see you too. You look wonderful. What shop?
It's bifurcated feeling for us up here.
Natural motifs, at least, lying on.
We're talking about it so that you'll hear. It actually, you may have seen Daisy Garbage. Very
I lost that. She's got all these stitches inside it now. And some
Page numbers in the brackets. An oldie but goodie. Shabbat Shalom to do that.
How are you?
And we're going to turn to page 120 to find our candle blessing and invite up the brewers to light our Shabbat candles. With many thanks for the delights that await us. I got a sneak preview and tasting.
She had to, she's like the official taster. just
I'm
to
the
make
official
sure.
Onay taster.
That means if she dies, we know we poisoned her.
It was fine.
Let's settle in. Let's close our eyes. Let's exhale. Let's just take a few moments to shed the week and see if we can emerge a little lighter, some quiet. You know, it's countercultural to get quiet with other people around in this culture. Amina was actually just sharing with us that today on the playground she just wanted to sit quietly alone and think. And she kept getting approached by teachers and students. It was very sweet, you know, who were concerned about it. She said, I just want some quiet. And I said to her that that's just, you know, in America, we don't tend to sit quietly with others. And Shabbat is about sitting quietly with ourselves and with others for a whole day. And it's countercultural, right? Just to stop and be without having to produce a thought or a comment or fill up the space. I appreciate that we were able to do that together here. Page 138, we'll say, we'll make some noise.
Tila
on page 1. Altar our heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, ruling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Rings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ari Baravi. Page 154. On page 159, sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני העם Israel. Please join me on page 160. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, rest with your good counsel. For your name's sake be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life. Of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu va'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Shamru b'nei Yisrael, et ha-Shabbat, la'asot In a moment, we will rise for tefillah, and we'll chant the first three blessings together, and then we'll just continue silently on our own through page 180. You can be seated when your prayers are finished. Please rise, page 164. We reach for you, our God, from our quiet places. May we stand still for a brief moment and listen to the rain. Stand still for a brief moment and watch the play of sunlight and shadow on the leaves. For a brief moment, listen to the world. Let us stop the wheels of every day to be aware of Shabbat. Find the stillness of the sanctuary which the soul cherished. Renew the covenant of an ancient people. We need a quiet space to test the balance of our days, the weight of our own deeds against the heaviness of the world's demands. The balance is precarious. Steady us with faith. Quiet places and stillness where we will hear our own best impulses speak. Quiet places and stillness from which we will reach out to each other. We will find strength in silence, and with this strength, we will turn again to your service. We find strength for and faith in healing with our Misha Berach, our prayer for healing of body, mind, and spirit. And we'll join in that prayer in a moment on page 371. And we're especially thinking about Stuart Warner. Is that right, John? Walker, thank you. Joel Pear, Ann Pent, Sam Rosenblum, Murray Zack, Kevin Fox, Dean Rossow, Charles Savitt, Terry Baran, Judy Fine, Carol Berzin, Nancy Schwam, John DiNicola, Danny Redak, Peggy Tunick, Harvey Redak, Reagan Konecki, and Linda Thal. And if there are other names of folks that you're thinking of for healing, you can say their names at this time.
Howard Cohen, Jan Wallen.
Lawrence Alexander, Barbara Crown, Mike Godfrey,
Jim Nickel.
Edie Israel,
Joan Mahoney.
We also say a prayer for good things, happy things, things we're grateful for in our lives. So let's just take a moment and bring something good to mind, and then you can share it if you'd like. Would anyone like to share a good thing tonight?
On Ms. Barrett, this is Harvey Redak, but I heard last Sunday morning at the Jewish War Veterans meeting that in Florida, he was strong enough to to blow taps. So it was very important.
Wow. Oh, that's great news. Thank you for that. Did I see a hand back there, Melanie?
My grandson just spent the last week with me, my 2-year-old grandson, for the first time. I survived. I'm exhausted. Happy exhaustion. His parents are moving, they're all moving to the area around Glastonbury, East Hampton. So I'm excited about that.
Anyone else?
I get to see my best friend in 2 weeks.
All right, so for all these good things and the other ones that we just keep to ourselves, we say Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hatov v'ha'ametiv. Praised are you, Adonai, our God. Your presence fills creation. You are good, and you make good things happen. For announcements this week, tomorrow morning we have Torah study at 9 a.m. as always. There's also a program happening that we are a part of at the same time at 9 o'clock at Essex Town Hall. It did require an RSVP. If you're interested in it, let me know after services. It's called Looking Both Ways, and it's a several-hour workshop. It's really about reflecting on our lives and then looking ahead in terms of planning, end-of-life planning. There will be a whole group of kind of guides through that. There's a workbook, but there will be clergy from the area and a social worker and Sam, the funeral director from Centerbrook. Really get to talk about the things that make us go like this, but that are so important, and it can be such a gift to family and community, actually, for folks to let people know what their wishes are, and to start thinking about that. So it's going to be a wonderful, I think, container to hold some difficult conversations, to help you think about having difficult conversations. So that's tomorrow morning, again, at Essex Town Hall. Our farmland cleanup in our community garden is happening on Sunday at 12:30. And we also have a mitzvah project happening at 1 o'clock down at Stop and Shop in Old Saybrook from 1 to 4. It's our Stuff a Truck, where we talk to shoppers as they go into Stop and Shop and ask them to buy something, put something in their basket for the Shoreline Food Pantry, and then on their way out, they stuff the truck. So come for that if you want to do a mitzvah this weekend. The third in our 5-week meditation series during this period between Passover and Shavuot is next Thursday at 7 o'clock. And I can't believe it, it's already next week. Okay. Next weekend is our Scholar in Residence weekend, our Sheldon Kutnick Memorial Scholar in Residence weekend. We are bringing in Alan Marinis. You've been barraged with emails about it. You've seen it in the Megillah. Please come for all or some of the weekend. I've met him, I've learned from him. He's very inspiring and just very warm, and he just connects right to you and your life and brings Jewish wisdom to it. So there's stuff happening Friday night. Saturday morning, he's doing scrollers. He's going to speak during our Saturday morning service. He's going to teach after lunch. And then Sunday morning, he'll be here with our teenagers. And then after that session, there'll be another workshop for parents and other interested adults. Look in the Megillah, look on the website, look at your weekly email for the schedule. And I think I'll just end with one more mitzvah you can do as part of our effort to furnish an apartment for a chronically homeless individual. We're collecting items, and the last few items that we need are a TV, one end table, an alarm clock, and a vacuum cleaner. So random, smaller type things. If you have any one of those things, contact Debbie Troutman. If you don't know Debbie Troutman, call our office, and we'll tell you where to bring your item. We also do need help, and this is happening during our Scholar in Residence weekend. The move-in date is beyond our control. The move-in date is on Saturday, May 2nd. So we don't need a huge number of volunteers, but we need some sturdy volunteers to help move the stuff. So again, you can let Debbie Troutman know if you're available for that. And I want to thank the Brewers again for sponsoring the event. So in honor of the 67th birthday of the State of Israel, which we celebrated this week, I'm going to talk a little bit about Israel tonight, but I'm going to get there through our Torah portion. It's kind of an unlikely connection, but I found a way. Actually, it was pretty obvious. You'll see. So if you know what the Torah portion is, it's Tazria Mitzora, which is about skin diseases and all kinds of bodily fluids. And it really is about the concept of ritual impurity and purity and different physical conditions that prevent men and women in different physical states from being able to come into contact with the holy place, the Mishkan, the sanctuary as it moves through the desert. And it needs to be understood that in the mind of the Torah, everybody went through cycles of impurity and purity all the time. It's not that it's a bad thing morally necessarily to be impure or a yucky thing. It's just a state of being. And it tends to be when you come into contact with the life force in some way or with death in some way. So we have this disease, the skin disease called sara'at that makes you impure. I'm not going to talk about that tonight. Come for Torah study tomorrow. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And then especially for women, every month we have a time of impurity, okay? And what this Torah portion starts with is actually the blood that leaves our bodies after we give birth. And the fact that after we give birth, we're not allowed to come into contact with the holy place. And it's strange, and that's also for another time, but after giving birth to a boy, you can't come into contact with the holy place for 33 days. And for a girl, it's double that, okay? And then there are, these laws mostly are not observed today because the temple is gone, the sacrificial system is gone, we don't have really reasons that we need to be ritually pure anymore. But what does remains only for women and has to do with blood flow, okay, the monthly flow and childbirth. And what it does, it has nothing to do with being able to come into contact with the sanctuary necessarily or come to synagogue, but it's about having contact with your husband. That's restricted. So, now I promise I'm done talking about the yucky, uncomfortable stuff, okay? So I see Katie back there. You can sit and get comfortable, it's okay, I promise. Or anyone else who's feeling uncomfortable right now. I'm done talking about that. So the reasons that our tradition gives for why this is, and especially for why today we still maintain these rituals, there are reasons given, most of which are, surprise, surprise, not very satisfying and not very helpful in our feminist context here now. We're told that it's about coming into contact with powerful forces of life and death. This is why we need to kind of stay away. Another argument is that a woman in this state doesn't need to be spiritually elevated, especially if she just gave birth, because she already is in a state of spiritual elevation because she just gave birth to new life. Okay, maybe that works, maybe not. And we can't even think sort of culturally, anthropologically, that with this idea of the red tent, if you've read the book, that actually these periods for women were times of being able to come together with other women and spend time with each other in a really kind of lovely, intimate, supportive way. So there's some nice aspects to it. But unfortunately, and the connection I'm making tonight is that this is an example of kind of a world of ritual and Jewish law that has stayed around and that really colors a whole way of thinking that remains, especially in some very extreme ultra-Orthodox communities, as part of really a whole kind of menu of reasons for silencing women, for excluding women from the experience of public prayer. And specifically from the experience of reading and touching the Torah scroll in public. And unfortunately, this, what I really would call a fringe, ultra-Orthodox element of our people has authority over what can and cannot happen at our holy sites in Israel, particularly at the Western Wall. These days, in mainstream Judaism, including modern Orthodox Judaism, in modern Orthodox synagogues all over Israel even, there are women holding the Torah, there are women reading from the Torah, there are women having bat mitzvahs. We saw one in Jerusalem. And in fact, 2 years ago, there was a court decision in Israel that ruled that women have the right to do all those things at the Kotel, which is the Hebrew word for the Western Wall. It is not illegal. You should not be arrested for wearing a talit, reading from the Torah, praying publicly as women at the Western Wall on the women's side. But unfortunately, as this often happens, right, you have a ruling, but it's not enforced because the people with the power are still the people with the power. And there's still an ultra-Orthodox rabbi named Shmuel Rabinowitz who administers the holy places, and he has steadfastly refused to abide by this ruling. Things are much better. Women do pray publicly at the wall wearing talit without getting harassed, but now the focus is really around Torah, being able to read from a full-size Torah scroll on the women's side, just like the men do on the men's side. Rabinowitz officially says that there are over 100 Torah scrolls at the Kotel for public use, enough for everyone. But the public, as far as Rabinowitz is concerned, includes only males. So many of us are familiar with this group, Women of the Wall. They wrote to him, they requested the use of a Sefer Torah, a Torah scroll, and they were told that the Torahs at the Kotel were donated for men's use only. So then, I'm going to say we, because I donate to Women of the Wall. I feel like I'm a part of them. We offered to donate our Torah, our Women of the Wall Torah, to be used by women in the women's section. And we were told that the Torah would be accepted, but it would never be given to women to use. Oh, thank you for your donation. You can't use it. So this week, Women of the Wall comes together every month on Rosh Chodesh, which is a women's holiday in Judaism, and there is a special Torah reading on this holiday. And this week, Rosh Chodesh Iyar, a Sefer Torah was passed from the men's section, cradled safely in the arm of one Jew into the arms of another through the mechitza. There's a gate in the mechitza, in the divider. They opened it. They had some male allies on one side who passed it over. Some of you may have seen the video of it. It was quite amazing. So the way it works at the wall, there's a synagogue on the men's side of the wall, and that's where they keep all the Torah scrolls. So that's how it is that the women can't get to it, right? But the men were able to pass it over. And if you saw this video, you saw a jubilant procession with the Torah, a beautiful Torah reading, singing and dancing. And that really, like the red tent does come to mind there, the beauty of the same-sex experience, I think for men as well as women. There's something really wonderful about it. And then of course stuff starts to happen. There was commotion on the men's side. A group of Kotel employees forcibly pushed their way through the men's minyan who were praying near the mechitza. They injured a man who's sort of an ally of the women. Really injured, like hurt him. He got a head injury from this. They were ranting and yelling and trying to get into the women's section to take the Torah back. The women were protecting the Torah scroll with their bodies, and the police actually protected the women and forced these guys back away. And after the Torah service was over, Anat Hoffman, who is the chair of Women of the Wall and who directs the Israel Religious Action Center, which is our reform movement, legal and social justice office there. So Anat Hoffman brought the Torah back to the gate, handed it back to the men. It really actually went quite smoothly. They were able to get through the whole thing. But unfortunately, the people who really were victims this time of violence were men who were real allies standing up for us. And the men who were actually kind of pushed to the ground were arrested. Yeah, and taken to the police station bleeding from the head, not given medical attention immediately. They were arrested because the women they were trying to help were causing a public disturbance. Okay. So, but really, it really was a victory, and despite all of the wrinkles and the violence and all of that, it was an amazing thing to witness. So you should go and get on Women of the Wall's Facebook page. You can see the video. This is a huge step, and there's a long way to go still, right? That court ruling still is not being enforced, and the incitement and the violence continues, although at least now the police are protecting the women. Now they need to start protecting the men. So, the reason why I stuck these in your prayer books tonight is connected to this story. Our reform movement in Israel, in coalition with modern Orthodox Jews and Reconstructionists and conservative, we are all really in coalition together to make these kinds of changes. And our movement in particular is really the driving force, as institutionally speaking. We provide the legal support and the real, the leadership in these efforts, among many efforts that we are a part of to secure equality and egalitarianism in Israel. And it's really important that the governments of Israel, the minister, the municipality in Jerusalem, the mayor, that they know that there are thousands and thousands of us here who care and who stand behind our institutions and our leadership in Israel on these issues. That's where the pressure comes from, a lot of it. And one of the ways that we show our power is by voting, and it's a whole other sermon for another night, a very strange organization and history behind all of this, but there's this World Zionist organization that has a congress every few years, and we send a delegation, and in order to get a nice big delegation, and that has to do with, and then the size of your delegation actually impacts how much money you get, we need to vote over here. And you need to pay to vote. Miriam and I were talking about that earlier. That's the strange part. You need to do it. We need your vote. The turnout has been low. We don't know yet what the outcome is, but we know that the turnout has been low, and it really matters. So at this point, it's too late to vote by mail, I believe. So you need to vote online. This gives you all the information to go and do it. It's actually very simple. Once you get on the website, it's very obvious what to do. And we are encouraging you, I am encouraging you, obviously you can make your own choice, but to vote for ARZA, A-R-Z-A, which is the Reform Movement's delegation. That's really how we show our muscle in Israel around these issues. So I'm just going to conclude by taking us back to the Torah portion a little bit. I read quite a commentary today about this law about the woman who's just given birth, and and the fact that she has to be segregated from the community and she's not allowed to go to the holy place for a month or two, depending, while she still has this blood flowing. And this commentary, it's a medieval commentary, it comes from Nachmanides, the Ramban, and he says that the correct interpretation is that during the period when a woman has a flow of blood, everyone, men and women alike, keep her at a distance. And she dwells apart, not being counted as a person. For even her speech is unclean during this period. And that really jumped out at me because I had just gone onto that website and listened to the video one more time of Anat Hoffman speaking about what this meant to her to receive that Torah, finally, to read from that Torah as a woman at the wall. And what she said is, you know, the men have 100 Torah scrolls, and when I've asked for one of them for the women to use, I was told, you are not part of the public. Today, she said, I was part of the public. We read from the Torah like human beings. Right? This is the idea. We are human beings. And I end there. And it really is, this ritual is about to count the Omer, and you can repeat after me. Shehem Shlosh. That today is the 21st day, which makes 3 weeks of the Omer. Aleinu is on page 586.
Adama
from us, those who died at this season and years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for blessing. This week we mark the yard sites. Harold Barron, Helen Bloom, Anna Cooper, Honor, Aldman, Peraza, father of Marcy Peraza Baker, Susanna Purdy, sister of Marcy Peraza Baker, Sabbath. There are other names of folks that you are remembering at this time. You can say their names. Prakash,
Quincy Gross.
Bettina,
Jeff Jonathan.
Harry Houseman.
Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shmea. Yitbar. Tushkapata v'nechamata, da'miran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba v'yishemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. V'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say, be seated. For
I'm a book collector.